All right, speaking about potential candidates for the United States, here's a name for you. Thierry Henry, the footballing legend turned manager turned assistant turned TV pundit, was asked about the U.S. job over on CBS. Quote, "Do I know the American players? Yeah, I know the players. Do I know the league? Yeah, I know the league. It's a different ball game now to talk about it like that. But would I want to be a manager at any level? Yes. Of course that's something I would want to do. But to go back to the U.S. national team and the U.S. in general, what's the plan? What's the philosophy? What do you want to be?" Herc, Thierry Henry, should he be a candidate for the U.S. job?
Now, when we talk Thierry Henry, are people taking into the account his resume as a footballer, which is very good?
Let me ask you.
Hard-pressed.
Let me ask you. Would you take it into account?
Before you ask me, just let me finish really quick.
How important is it?
Let me finish really quick. Are you taking into account his resume as a player, which is very good? Or how well-spoken he is in front of the camera as a commentator, which he is also very good at. He's a very good commentator. Or maybe as an owner for Como and Serie B, he could be a very good owner, maybe there. Or are we taking into account his standalone managerial resume? What he did with Monaco, that abysmal showing with Monaco. What he did with Montreal, that abysmal showing with Montreal where, by the way, they were eliminated in the CONCACAF Champions League versus Olympia. And then he decides to leave the team for family reasons. He wanted to be close to his family, only for in that same week, Bournemouth to come about, and talks between him and Bournemouth fall off, and then he ends up being the Belgian assistant coach once again. As a standalone managerial resume, you wouldn't open the door for him. He wouldn't be a candidate because he's Thierry Henry, and because he was a very good player, a great player, and he's a very good commentator, maybe even a great commentator. All of a sudden, oh, wait a second, Thierry Henry? Oh, that sounds interesting. But if you remove the name Thierry Henry and just put his resume, standalone, X, right there, nobody's giving him a shot.
A wise man once said, we don't operate in a vacuum. So let's put the name back up there. It is Thierry Henry. How much is that name worth, huh? How much is that, specifically, Herc, that playing resume worth? Think about it from your days as a player perspective. A great former player walks in as a manager. What's that worth? Because whatever else you want to say about his resume, the playing resume, that's got to carry some weight.
Yeah, sure it carries weight as a player, and you respect him as a player. But how many times have we seen being a great player doesn't translate into being a good manager on the world level? Okay? Now, he may say he knows the league. He may say he knows the player pool. He may say all these things, which are great. What have you done as a manager to warrant this? Okay? That is the only question you need to ask. That is the only thing that matters. Standalone managerial resume, I don't think it gets him in the door if he's not Thierry Henry. That's why I would say this is something you have to walk away from.
Yeah, he checks some boxes, right? The name, the connections to the game. He's a relative outsider, which we talk about, the incestuous nature of U.S. soccer. He would definitely be a departure from that, but he's just too green, too inexperienced. 4 wins out of 20 with Monaco, 9 wins out of 29 in Montreal. There's not a record of success. There's not hardly a record there. So too green, but maybe somewhere down the road. I'd like to see him in MLS for what it's worth. I would like to see him back.
Again, in Montreal. Honestly, I'd like to see him in a good market. I think, because let me tell you where Thierry Henry would absolutely knock it out the park. If Thierry Henry was the U.S. men's national team manager, regardless of what the record would be, good or bad, where he would knock it out the park would be in recruitment, dual nationals.
Balogun, let's go.
Yes.
He knows all about Fuller and Balogun, huh? Yes. Sure, he's seen him over there in France.
And that's where he would knock it out the park, but that's the only thing I could probably guarantee he would knock it out the park. Because as a manager, I don't know.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.